Hi students, welcome to the third video. In this video we will be learning evaluation of internal control components. So far we have studied what are the 5 components of internal control system, and we also learned how an auditor is going to record the internal control system. In this video we will be learning the evaluation of the internal control components. So what are the internal control components? That is control environment, risk assessment, control activities, information and communication, and monitoring. ಸೊ ಈ 5 ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ because that shows how efficient and effective is your internal control system. So we in PPA also we have learnt how an internal control system should be in a company. So we will be learning here how it is going to be evaluated. So the first one is control environment. So control environment is a must for an organization. It influences all the controlling activities and controlling behavior of the company. So a control environment means policies, behavior, organization structure, leadership, which is in operations. So it starts from the board of directors, from the top level management to the subordinate level, with all the policies, behavior, and the governance of the organization, which is in operation, and how the company is using these things in effective internal control system. So this is the first item of the internal control system or the COSO component, and how it is going to be evaluated. So what are the control environments? The point says integrity and ethical value, importance of board of directors, management's philosophy and operating style, commitment to financial reporting competencies, authority and responsibility, and human resources. So these are the things which are included in your control environment. When you are formulating the reports, integrity and ethical values plays a major role in transparent disclosure of your financial books of accounts. Yes or no? So integrity and ethical values plays a major role. Secondly, the responsibilities of an auditor or a company, it is overseeing the financial reporting, disclosure process, monitoring the accounting policies, overseeing all the performance, independence of the auditors, regulatory compliances, ethics, everything is comes under the responsibilities. So the importance of the board of directors comes in oversight of all these responsibilities when you are going for a financial reporting and its relation with the internal control system. Thirdly, management's philosophy and operating style. So the management's ethics, philosophy, and its operational style, it supports the achievement of the organization goal through an effective internal control system. Thirdly, commitment to financial reporting competence and authority and responsibility, which is related to employees, how the employees are competent in their role in different levels of the management, their productivity, profitability of the firm, how they perform their duties, responsibilities, and their commitment to work, and that can be measured in the internal control environment evaluation. And finally, human resource policies, practices, like how you are hiring, how many are available, how the company is allocating the human resources, how they are giving salary, bonus, incentives, everything is designed and implemented in the control environment. So these are the aspects of the control environment and how it is going to be evaluated, and what are the limitations of control environment. So the evaluation of the control environment must mitigate or reduce the adverse impact on financial reporting when management involves in the audit process. Whenever the company pressures to meet the unrealistic goals, unrealistic targets, because all the companies fix some targets for a definite period and that should be realistic. Okay, if it is unrealistic, it leads to inefficiency of the internal control system. Thirdly, management's attitude towards control objectives, control procedures and control environment, how they perform, how they prepare the financial reporting matters a lot. Job descriptions and composition of the audit committee, etc. will be evaluated at the beginning, and if you are evaluating the control environment in a good manner, then it leads to a better or an effective internal control system in the organization. Next one is risk assessment. As we have already discussed what is risk and how you are going to assess the risk, risk is allocated or risk is assessed everywhere and risk is identified everywhere. In simple, every aspect, every process, every activities involves a risk in the organization. So some of the risk can be identified or differentiated as external control or internal control. In the same way, external risk and internal risk of the organization that has to be identified, assessed and managed in the organization. There is a separate committee will be framed in the organization to assess the risk. The company or the internal control system having three main principles in the risk assessment. What are those? First one is importance of financial reporting objectives. Whenever you go for preparation of the financial reporting or any of the processes, you will be having some of the objectives. So that predetermined objectives should be based on the financial reporting risk. So the risk associated to preparation of financial reporting has to be written at the beginning. So you have to ascertain the objectives of the financial reporting and what are the risk is involved in financial reporting. Once you formulate the objectives, secondly, identification and analysis of the financial reporting risk. So the company has to identify the problem and analyze the problem or the risk to achieve the financial reporting objectives which is already predetermined. So once you have written the objectives, based on that, when you are identifying, analyzing the financial reporting risk, you have to come to the assessment part. So you have to assess the fraud or the risk which is involved in the books of account, and you have to reduce or eliminate the risk by having some of the supervising measurements or some suggestions or some monitoring aspects. So you have to check how the fraud is happening and how it is misstating the books of account and how to avoid it. That has to be assessed when you are assessing the risk of the organization. Thirdly, control activities. So control activities must be evaluated in the context of the management directives. When you are addressing the risk that is involved in your control environment, and that activities has to be controlled and that has to be reduce the risk in the organization. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ನೀವೇನೇನು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ನೀವು ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಆ ಒಂದು ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. So the main principles with effective control activities are elements of a control activity. What are the elements? Again, the elements are your ethical values, management's philosophy, policies, procedure, etc., etc. in simple control activities. Control environment. So whatever the control environment which you are prepared at the top level management, that has to be framed and communicated through the company at all the levels of the management, at all the functions of the management. Secondly, control activities are linked to risk assessment. Whatever the plan you made at the beginning, that has been implemented. Based on the implemented plan, you will be having certain risk, and the certain risk has to be assessed when you are taking the action. So that is nothing but evaluation. Whenever you are evaluating something, so that is already planned and implemented. After implementation, you will be controlling and re-evaluating the control activities. Thirdly, selection and development of control activities. Control activities must be selected and developed based on the cost concept, cost and its effectiveness, because everything is based on the cost which is incurred. So our cost and the effectiveness has to be checked with the risk whenever you are achieving the financial reporting objectives. And finally, information technology. What kind of technology you are using and how you are getting the information by the company, that has to be designed and implemented to support the achievement of those objectives. Next point is information and communication. Information is nothing but the books of accounts, financial statements and non-financial items which is relating to internal and external events of the organization. So how you will be getting the information, because as an auditor it is your right to receive or to access the information and to ask anybody to hear the explanation and to have the communication. So the main principles of the internal control system in information and communications are information need. So the information has to be identified. Whatever the information you are getting, that has to be identified, captured and used at all the levels of the company to support the achievement of the objectives. So what are the informations you will be getting? From the legal documents, legal requirements of the company, books of accounts, incorporation certificate, MOA, AOA, everything has to be identified, named at the beginning. Then you have to take the information, or you have to capture the information. How an auditor is going to record that in the audit notebook, So how the information flows from all the levels of the company and how it is being used in the organization, that is also very important. So the need of the information is one of the principle of the information and communication. Secondly, information control. Who has the control on the information which are identified, captured, processed and distributed within the organization? So that is very important, whether the confidentiality of the informations are maintained or not, whether the disclosure of the assets or disclosure of any investments are made at the proper, based on the accounting standards or the auditing standards. Everything has to be checked by the auditor. Then management communication. Once you identify the information, all the communication from the top level, whether it is clearly going as a message to the subordinate level, whenever it flows from the top level management to the subordinate level without any conflicts, then the company has a good internal control over the financial reporting, and the responsibilities for each and every role has been clearly assigned, that can be easily ascertained. And the last point is communication with the outside parties. Who are the outside parties? The experts, general public and all the stakeholders of the company, whether the matters which are affecting the achievement of the financial reporting objectives are communicated with the outside parties. For example, an auditor should get the informations related to the company, lawyer, then technical advisors, your investors. Every stakeholder must know about the company's books of accounts. So the information and the communication plays a vital role in your internal control framework, its operation and its compliance with the objectives of the financial reporting. And the final topic, or the fifth component of the internal control system, is monitoring. How you supervise all these process with all these activities and functions. So monitoring is defined as the process that assess the quality of the system's performance over a time. So this is accomplished through three major principles of the internal control system. One is ongoing monitoring activities, separate evaluation, and the combination of the two, that is reporting of the deficiencies. So What are these principles? Ongoing monitoring occurs in the due course of the due course of the operations. This process enables the management to check whether the internal control over the financial reporting is present and functioning in the operations. So how it is going to be evaluated? By having a regular verification on the evidence and the statements of accounts. Secondly, by authenticate communication with the external parties who are all internally integrated with the process and who are all having the access for the informations of the company, and periodical comparison of amounts which are recorded by the accounting system with the existing assets and liabilities. That is, valuation and verification of the assets and liabilities is also one of the ongoing monitoring principle of the internal control system. Then feedbacks which are taken by the management, by the employees, everything is an ongoing monitoring. So a monitoring is nothing but a process which assesses the quality of the system performance, and an ongoing monitoring says the present functions of the organization. Second one is separate evaluation. Separate evaluation, we are taking the evaluation process out of the working environment. You will be giving an outsourcing, or you will be hiring some new employees to the organization, and you will be assigning their work of separate evaluation of all these internal control components. So separate evaluation of all 5 internal control components enables the management to check the effectiveness of the internal control or financial reporting. How they will be verifying or how they will be monitoring this? Based on the scope, the limitations you have given, or the boundaries which you will be having your internal control system, and the frequency of the operations. Normally they will be checking the appropriateness of your internal control system, and logically they will be evaluating based on the process, methodology, and the level of documentation, because the types of documentation also we have discussed. Based on the level of documentation and how you are presenting your internal control system in front of the auditor, that matters a lot. So that will be evaluated separately by a team or a group of people. So this is also one of the type of monitoring, that is separate evaluation. And finally, reporting deficiencies. So whenever you are identifying the risk, analyzing the risk, and coming with the proper mitigation of those risks, is called as reporting deficiencies. Internal control is there to identify and communicate the timely problems or the risk which is associated with the due course of the operations. So the existence mechanism and its problems has to be identified within the internal control, and the company has to take some suitable measures, or the evaluation helps in whatever they have implemented by planning, whether it is correct or not, that can be identified whenever you are reporting the deficiencies. So these are the 5 important aspects for your 14 marks question, that is evaluation of the internal control system. And monitoring is one of the important COSO component which measures the performance of all these aspects. Thank you.